Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, November 18th here on the Rancho, and a very good morning to each and every one of you. Late night baking last night yielded very nice results. Good morning, Missy Jen.
Good morning, Rosie girl.
Show the beast today. This is our hi Kelly. This
Kelly.
is our red velvet cake, the Waldorf-Astoria red velvet cake with the ermine icing. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ermine icing because it's something that I had never made before. And I hope you all are having a good Saturday. Let me get a paper towel here.
Yeah, happy Saturday.
Let Jen entertain you for
Happy Saturday. Come on into the side chat and tell me all about how your morning was, what you had for breakfast, how did your day start,
Yeah. Kelly, what do you have for breakfast in the morning?
what you have for breakfast,
Kelly, probably nothing. I have a cup of coffee.
how was your night,
See how skinny Kelly is.
did you work last night?
Kelly's going to be off that Friday night. That's nice from Las Vegas. So nice to see you. Kelly, let me talk about this cake. It really turned out very well, this red velvet cake, using the traditional 1940s recipe. Kelly says 2 Whoppers for $6. There
All
we go.
right.
That sounds like the breakfast of champions right there.
Very good.
Let me talk a little bit about this. Hi, Allison. Nice to see you. About this cake, because
Hi, Allison.
you'll see a lot of recipes for red velvet cakes, but you will find few of them use what's called an ermine icing, and few of them will use the original recipe that was developed in the 1940s, the real original red velvet cake. Of course, it was developed to find a use. The Adams Manufacturing Company, food additives company, had developed food coloring, and they wanted to expand the use of that and get people to start using, especially baking, adding color to things.
Good morning, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. So they developed this recipe, the Adams Food Coloring Company, and to try to sell more of their red food dye. Well, it worked. It became a very popular cake through the 1940s and 1950s, and then in the 1960s, the red velvet cake virtually disappeared. You didn't see many people, except in the Deep South, still baking red velvet cakes. Well, in about 2005, it seemed like they got rediscovered. I believe the Food Network, Alton Brown did a red velvet cake on there. Well, the rest is history. It started to take off again because a lot of people had never seen a red velvet cake. Maybe the occasional bakery made it or something like that. What's unusual about that cake is it uses shortening. Number one, it uses much less fats than typical cakes that you'll see today. It only uses for that cake a half a cup of shortening in there and 1 cup of sugar. If you look at Martha Stewart's recipes when she bakes a cake today, or Ina Garten on the Food Network, the Barefoot Contestant, they'll use two or three cups of sugar in a cake. Plus, you have to put the frosting on top, and that prepared frosting that you buy in the store that's canned is really just a whipped shortening. That's about all it is. So it's really, only used 1 cup of butter for the frosting. The ermine frosting, I think, makes it very unusual. Not only is it a healthier cake, but in the 1940s and 50s, cakes were much less fat than they are today. They were much leaner because sugar it wasn't cheap. Oftentimes during war it was rationed and it was very difficult to get. So the trend had been to economize when it came to sugar and not use a ton of sugar. So cakes were much less sweet back in they would often be served as side dishes for regular dinners, like a slightly sweetened bread. So The Ermine icing, though, is really unusual, and as I say, it's the first time I ever made that. You start with a cup of milk, and you take 3 tablespoons of flour, and you work that milk and flour together until that milk becomes very thick. Very unusual. Then you go ahead and you put in your butter, your softened butter to room temperature, fold that in. When that mixture cools down, that flour and milk, I had that in the refrigerator, you'll see, last night for a little bit. When that cools down, you add the butter in and whip that. Then you put your vanilla in, and it's very unusual to have a icing that starts with a flour and milk base to it. So as a result, when Jen tries this today, I believe that she's going to sense that this is unlike, this is a fluffy, not a dense sort of icing. So it's definitely one that I would make again, just because of the healthy aspects of having much less fat for that. So good morning, Kevin. Nice to see you. Allison says, I like any kind of cake. That sounds like Jen, right?
Yeah, I like pretty much any cake too, unless it has that gelatinous, like, you know, they make these flat fruit cakes where they have the fruit and then they put this gelatinous pudding stuff on the fruits. I don't like this gelatinous pudding stuff they make. They did that in Germany and I didn't like that. Make it, then that goes into the would go into the crust and make the crust all soggy, and it's like, eek, no likey.
Yeah, it's funny. Just as an aside, observing Missy Jen eat over the years that she's been here and the years that we have known each other. It's funny. Missy Jen is what we call a serial eater, meaning
Yes.
Yes, she can't work around it as much because she could if she wanted. She doesn't work around and do a little turkey, a little mashed potato, a little peas. She'll, you know, if we're having a baked potato and tri-tip and peas, she'll start and do the potato first and heat that, then fold up the skin, put that off of the plate. Then she'll get on to the maybe the peas, and lastly she'll have the tri-tip. It's what we call a serial eater. So I'm not surprised, Jen, even when we go to restaurants, she doesn't like it when one food kind of invades.
Yeah, one flavor contaminates the other flavor. So I like it, especially like when we were yesterday out, our Friday night foodie review, when they bring you some of the side dishes in little bowls.
Yeah.
And you can actually just eat it out of that bowl. I really like that because then one food doesn't contaminate the other. I don't like when that one food touches the other and then it's like,
no kidding, it starts to bleed in.
Yeah, this tastes like this now, and this tastes like this now. I like when I have mashed potatoes taste like mashed potatoes, and the meat tastes like the meat, and whatever vegetables just taste like the vegetables. Blah. I'm just that way. We used to, like back in the days, have everything on one plate, all hobbled up with brown gravy, all hobble-cocked and mushed together. And everything tasted the same. You didn't even know what you were chewing, if that was a piece of meat or if that was a Brussels sprout. And I completely changed to enjoying one flavor at a time.
I ate a piece of cake last month that was chocolate. Great, they post tons of food, make me hungry. Hi, Matt.
Hi,
Matt
Matt.
Ryan, Tennessee Adventures. Nice to see you.
Hi, Matt.
That's Missy Jen. So she's what we call a serial eater. So when she comes to visit you, don't be surprised when she serially eats. And if you're having side dishes, put them in little bowls and stuff.
Right,
okay?
make sure all the side dishes are separate in little bowls so that I can just eat one side dish at a time.
That's it.
by itself.
Yeah. So, you know, for me, what do we got here? Yeah, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this fool here. This
Allison
guy.
says she is
There's one
eating
comment.
coconut cake with a vanilla frosting. Mmm.
This new YouTube.
That sounds good.
This new YouTube feature pre-sorts your comments. So when somebody makes something that you guys don't see, like a Syrian crybaby, it gives you 30 seconds to look at it and then kick it out. It also gives you a chance to block the person and remove them. So there we go. The Syrian crybaby has now been.
Yeah, go and cry somewhere else.
Yeah,
you baby.
exactly. Exactly. All right. So what was I saying now? Let's see. Kelly says I could use some chocolate thunder pound cake there. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of a chocolate thunder pound cake myself. Sounds interesting. Let me put this back on the side. I'm sure the crybaby will be back in one of his 100 other accounts on YouTube. Now, I, of course, am a parallel eater, right? I'm like the she's like the Felix Unger, you know, the odd couple. And I'm like the Oscar Madison, right? Just slump it on the plate. Let's go. I mean, I'll have a little bit of meat. I'll have potatoes. I'll just kind of parallel work around the plate and stuff like that. So kind of funny the way we eat. So Missy Jen doesn't like stuff that's slumped all together on the plate. But the Ermine, I think when you try this Ermine icing, like I said, it's definitely one I'm going to make again because it's old fashioned and I perceive that it's much healthier than the stuff that you have in the canned stuff that you have today. Anything that you can use these days to lighten up a cake, I think is a good thing. Let's talk about a few other things about the cake too. In making that cake, I started at 9 p.m. last night, and by 11:30 I was basically done producing a cake, 2.5 hours. If you're going to make that cake at home, you of course spread it out longer in a day. You bake your basic cake in the morning. You allow that to cool all day long, and comes out of the pan easy. You go ahead and frost it. I was in kind of, had a few beers, so I almost forgot to take the wax paper off the bottom of the top layer. So I had to remove that again without destroying it and remove the wax paper and then put it back on top. Luckily, it all worked out. Thank you, Diane. Nice to see you.
Hi, Diane.
So do line your pans with the wax paper. It's very critical for making sure it comes out of form. Let it cool very well before you ice it. If you try to ice a cake that's hot, it melts all the fats and it just runs down the side. The thing I liked about this Ermine icing was once you made it up, it kind of solidified a little bit. It has a very teeny tiny, and I mean very microscopic little crust on it. But as soon as you bust through that crust, it's like a creme brulee underneath. It's really, really nice underneath that surface. So, how many layers? This is a 2-layer, Kevin. In traditional Waldorf-Astoria fashion, they would have taken 3-layer cakes and cut those 3-layer cakes in half along the center of the across the circle, and they would have iced between layers on there. Actually, they probably would have had 6 little pans and done just very thin layers and then just pull them out and put it, because you don't want to, if you cut these, you're going to start to produce crumbs, and then you ice it and the crumbs get all in the icing. Hi, Coop. Good morning.
Hi, Cooper.
What is there? Look who's sporting a wrench this morning. How about that? I only have to work 2 out of the next 9 days. I wish that you could shift that to when we're down there, Kelly, for more time in December. That's good. You only have to work 2 out of the next 9 days. I guess you'll be having a couple hangouts and stuff like that. That's a good thing. What else? Some other things I want to say about this cake. When you go to make this icing, don't assume that you can take your butter out of the. Don't assume you can take your butter out of the refrigerator and just whip that into this stiffened milk mixture there with the flour and milk, because it won't happen. So you'll be tempted to put your butter in the microwave to melt it, and that's a really huge mistake. Okay, you've got to let it just go to room temperature, otherwise it'll be in a liquid state. Hey, I'm on tonight, Kelly. Why don't you come on my panel, huh?
Yeah, come on tonight here on the Rosie O'Kelly channel.
Yeah, I've known Kelly a year and a half. She's not been on my panel, so.
You can come and join us for a change. It could be fun, you know.
Yeah, could be yeah, it always is. Always a good time. So, what else is going on today? Anything else I want to say about this cake? The real feature for me, just the last time I mentioned, was the icing. That's what made it very, very unique to me, and very something that I definitely want to make again. And next time, I promised I won't be doing the baking next Friday night. I will be in Los Angeles. But next time, I will be making a German chocolate cake. So that's going to be interesting. And I think we'll do that for Christian. We'll call it the Christian.
Christian from Austria.
Austria.
Our friend from Österreich, Austria, yes. He's been a huge support in regards to the channels, in regards to the big fires we had here, and the whole MS thing and everything. He's just a really amazing gentleman that always leaves every day very nice comments, and
yeah, so we're very happy to do that.
So you're gonna dedicate
yep.
a cake to Christian.
Yeah, because he stopped by last night, and I could basically kind of make out his German there. When he knew I had mentioned the German chocolate cake. Cooper mentioned German chocolate cake. And then he was like, wunderbar, you know, wunderschön.
Wunderbar, yeah, super good.
Yeah, super wunderschön, wunderschön.
Wunderbar,
yeah.
That's excellent.
Excellent. So he was excited about that. Yeah, stolen cake is nice too. Yeah, I think we'll do that as we get closer to. We'll do some holiday baking. I've done a lot of holiday baking in the past. If you're not subscribed to my Rosie Murphy channel, I've done some baking on there, and also on the Jen and Rosie reality TV. So there's a few baking vids. No, people won't, you know, who cares? You know? There's worse stuff on my chats than you singing, Kelly, I can guarantee you.
Rosie sings.
Yeah, I sing. I want to swing from the chandeliers,
Sing.
Yeah, I missed my calling in opera and everything. I would have done that stronger voice, but I don't want to blow you guys out at home and lose 10 subscribers.
I will do the dance, and I did the dance with Jinx last week.
Did the dance. Hi, Jasmine. Good morning, honey pie. How are you, sweetie? We've got the lovely, effervescent, lively Jasmine Quinones in the house today, and always wonderful to see Jasmine. I think Jasmine likes me because I was the only person that ever pronounces her last name as it should be pronounced. Beautiful guy. Everybody, Jasmine's everybody's favorite. Yep. Okay, bye, Kevin. Take care. Yeah, check it out later. We're going to cut the cake in about 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so. So, thank you.
Nice to have seen you in here, Kevin. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, Kelly says I like singing my place in this world. That's great. You know, Kelly, you do what you want to do in life, and you steer your own ship. I found on YouTube that if you don't have a strong hand on the rudder of where you're going on in YouTube and in life, there's a million hands that will reach in there and try to grab that rudder and steer your ship the way they want it to be steered. You need to be strong.
Oh, yeah.
You need to stay your own course, and you need to have a very thick skin. That's the key.
There's always somebody that tries to tell you to do something even forcefully, and it's like, who are you? I don't even know you. Trying to tell me what I'm supposed to do.
You do your own thing. I mean, it's like
you don't like it, go away. Don't watch it. Don't look at my stuff. Go away.
It's like Cooper says, Rosie's the hardest working person on YouTube. And I guess I've put up 12,000 videos over 5 years, but I've loved doing every single one of them, with the exception of maybe 5 when we ran into personnel problems on YouTube and stuff like that. But I will tell you what, of those 12,000 videos, 11,996 were pure pleasure. I never felt like I was ever working on YouTube when I put on a video. Coop said, Missy, count your blessing. Rosie almost choked you to death with wax paper.
Well, I'm going to start sleeping with one eye open from now on. Thank you for warning me, Cooper.
Kelly says, how often do you get offers of reviews on products on YouTube? Yeah, there's sunglasses and other stuff, and there's a parade of stuff that always comes through. We've got invites to be on network TV shows and stuff, and it's just something at this point in my life I decline. There may be a time for that to be on that, but right now I got bigger fish to fry.
I'm still waiting for one particular TV show to call that I really want to get on. I really want to get on.
Hi, Josh. Good morning to you.
Hi, Josh. If that show comes and asks, we must go. That one particular show, we have to go. Even if you go in like a masquerader son as somebody else, it's like
you mean incognito?
Incognito, yeah.
No, it's not Jerry Springer.
Not Jerry Springer. No, that's.
No, but if Jerry Springer ever said, "Here's a moon," if he ever saw, "Here's a moonshine making tranny with a girlfriend here," you can imagine how that would. That'd be like the ultimate. So I don't really do that. I want to do the things I want to do. It doesn't accrue any benefit. You're going to be in a love triangle down at the club with Cooper and Elvis, but it doesn't do any benefit to me to be on that kind of thing at this point in time.
I can afford to go on shows and everything. I don't have anything really to lose anymore.
Well, it's not about losing things. It's just it doesn't fit what I want to do right now. That's the reason why. Okay, just got done eating chili. Awesome. How was the chili?
Chili, oh my God. I could tell you a story about chili, but that is for later, right?
Yeah, that's for later, where we went last night, Friday night.
Oh,
why don't we go ahead this morning?
God.
Let's go ahead and cut the cheese, as they say. on the Animal House. Cut the cheese, right? Let's go ahead.
The cheese and eat the cake.
Let's put it down on the counter a little bit here. Okay, let's get that over here. Give you guys a look at the Waldorf-Astoria red velvet cake.
Did you make it yourself, Josh, or did you go and get it somewhere? The chili. Did you get it from Wendy's? Wendy's chili is pretty good.
I just got it kind of tore it off. It blew off of there.
What is this?
All right, give me a second.
That's awesome sauce. What is this?
Here you go, Queen Hobblecop.
Oh, thank you so much, honey.
There you go. Oh, thank you, Coop. Missy's looking spanking in her sweater dress there today. Let me go ahead and cut this, and then we'll put the camera back. Let me get my knife here. You really need to have a cake knife to do this the proper way. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut the Missy a piece here. Okay. We'll go ahead and first piece is always a bit challenging, but I believe that one came out pretty good. Here's our first slice of the red velvet cake. There you go, Jen.
Cuddy says she's looking at apartments.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Although I think you got a good gig, Kelly, with the RV. Myself, unless the RV park is, thank you, Jasmine. Unless the RV park is, goofy with not decent people or whatever. I can't imagine Las Vegas. I can't imagine a Las Vegas RV trailer park with bad people in it. Can you?
I never know.
All right. So there is our red velvet cake there. So we're going to have a seat over here. Missy Jen, go ahead and give that a twirl. That is a real Waldorf-Astoria.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Really nice, fluffy.
Moist.
And that icing is just...
And that icing is nice and light, isn't it?
Really nice and light, not too sweet and overpowering.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say this really tastes awesome. This came out super moist. I was really surprised because you normally you use a cup of butter, and this only used half a cup of shortening. Thank you, Diane. It's got the nice deep red color. Let's see if I turn that on. It's got the nice deep red color there. It's okay, huh, Missy?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's It's really light. Usually, when you go and buy red velvet cakes, the icing will be really sweet, and the cake will be really heavy, like a big rock laying in your stomach. But this is really light. I really love it.
I would rate it a 9-star, Coop. I really don't know what I can improve except having a better presentation method in terms of cutting it. You know, you're really supposed to wash the knife between cuts so you don't pull crumbs down into it. We really don't get that fancy here, but what I would make this again in a country, in a New York minute for sure, this cake, just because of the icing. There's nothing super spectacular about the red velvet except it uses, yeah, I want to send you some, Jasmine, except that it uses a lot of food coloring, red food coloring, and it uses a couple of spoons of cocoa powder, heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder. It's also unusual, it does not use baking powder. It uses baking soda and vinegar, a teaspoon of vinegar, to provide the lift. That reaction of a base and an acid helps the cake rise. So
now, I rate this cake a solid 9.5.
there we go. Help yourself.
This is really, really, really delicious. It's just it's nice and creamy. It's nice and creamy. You know how you usually, when you go and buy in the store the cake, the icing will be like a crust. This is a really nice, soft, fluffy, creamy. It's like a patch of heaven.
Yeah, I think I've got my new go-to style of icing now.
Yeah, it's great. Turned out awesome.
I have to call it the Christian German chocolate cake. Coop, sorry. You can't double up yet. We just did the Cooper Plantation butter pecan pie. How was that?
Yeah, that was. Oh, I ate that within 2 days. I ate that Cooper Plantation pecan pie in 2 days. It was gone. Rosie asked, "Is there any more of that pie left?" And I'm like, "No."
I was actually happy to hear that.
It was so scrumptious that
Missy Jen wasn't messing around with that.
That I just woofed it all down within 2 days.
Help yourself. This is our breakfast. That's good, Jasmine. I want to make your favorite cake.
Pecan is my favorite too, Cooper. And you know what I had yesterday? Actually, anything with nuts in it is good. I had some sweet potato.
Jen likes their nuts.
I had sweet potato. Was it souffle? What's it called? Sweet potato souffle, and it had some nuts in it and chopped up nuts.
Coop's like, be careful with that cake, Rosie.
And some kind of a cream. What did you say? What was that cream? It was like.
You had a sweet potato casserole that had brown sugar, and it had it looked like it had pecans or almonds in there, with like a maple syrup in there also, something like that.
Maple syrup type of thing. And it was just so good. And really the nuts in that, it just really made it like, well, you'll have to see the video. I had a specific wording for it.
Yeah, so after we do that German chocolate cake, I want to do the I want to do a cake that Jasmine wants to do.
Anything with nuts is always good.
A lot of, okay, yeah. Jasmine says I like almond cake. Do you like a frosted or do you like an almond? Because I'm wicked with almond. You like a pound cake or you like a layer cake that's almond flavor with almond flavor icing and maybe some almonds, toasted and buttered almonds throughout the batter, something like that. That's what made, okay. That's what Jen really liked about the pecan is a lot of recipes will just go out, they buy pecans in a bag and they don't do anything to them. They just throw them into the pie and cook them. But you saw we took the time to butter and kind of caramelize the sugar on those pecans so they had a really rich, intense, smoky taste to them. It made all the difference. All right, so the week after we're gonna make a jasmine almond layer cake, and then we're gonna be off to Las Vegas, I think, Jasmine. And I know Jasmine will be watching the craziness. Jasmine will give that little smiley icon there. Oh, yeah. All right, Jasmine, that's what we're going to make, an almond cake. I'll look it up. Let me show Jasmine this. There you go, honey, right there. Almond extract, baby. I do this for pancakes once in a while for Jen. I'll do an almond.
Yeah, almond.
And really nice almond.
Yeah, almond or coconut flavor.
Almond, coconut, or yeah, almond, and just a really good deal. Peach almond. I think what did I make? Almond peach for Tara, didn't I? Yeah, almond and peach. She was crazy about them.
Yeah, she was gonna pay you.
Oh yeah, you think I'm gonna muck around? Of course I'm gonna give. You know I love Jasmine. I'm gonna give Jasmine. You know Jen and I are crazy about Jasmine. We're gonna give Jasmine our #1 baby. We're gonna give her the best of the best. Yeah.
For the best.
And we hope one day, I think she's in the New York City area, so we'll be blowing through New York one day. It would be nice to meet up with Jasmine. Well, Missy Jen, I have to declare the cake has been a success.
Yes, full-blown victory, success. Absolutely.
Hey, Jack, how you doing? Yeah.
Hi, Jack.
Yeah. There it is, Jack. If you were here, I would definitely give you and Lisa a piece of that red velvet cake there. It really turned out beautifully. But I'll tell you this, Jack. Based on the stuff that Lisa is making all the time, you got it made in the shade.
Nice to see you, Jack.
I mean, holy smokes. Lisa can cook the pants off anything, I'll tell you. She is crafty too. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Awesome to see you. So with that, guys, I will be back on the air at 5 p.m. Missy Jen will be on 6 to regale and delight you with tales from the dark side. Yeah, she is an excellent cook, and she's very crafty too. And I'm honored to be friends with you guys. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and close down the hangout here. Like Jen, I give the orange, she gives the heart, something like that. So I want to thank you for being along, Jack and Coop, Diane, Jasmine, of course, and all you guys. Loved having you on with us this morning. Good videos coming. Our review of our favorite place, our favorite foodie experience of 2016.
Have a great day and see you out tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight. Bye, Kelly. Take care. Make sure you're around tonight. Love you.